You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. This is Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man. And this week starts the Kaplan and Crew Holiday Extravaganza. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. And I want you to stay tuned because all week long, you are going to meet people who are affiliated in some way with the show, and they have a product or a service that we think you, the listeners, the viewers, the great friends, will have an interest in when it comes to creative holiday gift ideas. Because I don't know about the rest of you guys, but today is December 6th, and Christmas is now 19 days away, and I have not done any Christmas shopping for anybody. And probably the first and most important person in my world is girlfriend. Haven't exactly figured out what I'm going to get her yet. For those of you guys out there that are thinking, my wife, my girlfriend, my daughter, etc., what am I going to do for Christmas? For you ladies out there, I got this guy, my husband, my son, my man. What am I going to get him? We've got a whole bunch of gift ideas to give to you this week, but it's all because these folks are great friends. They're listeners, they're viewers, or they're somehow associated with the show, and you're going to get to meet them later on today. In fact, our first guest today is a gentleman by the name of Eric Frost, and he owns a company called the California Robe Company, and he's going to tell you all about his product, all about how he got into business. It's a really great story, and you're going to love it. So day one is about robes, and we'll just keep going on as the week goes on. We got all kinds of great products and interesting personalities and great stories, so stay with us for all of that. All right, Grande, Brown Man, you guys ready to jump in? You guys ready to get rolling here on what was a crazy sports weekend?
Yes.
All right.
Let's activate.
All right, here we go. Let's activate is right. Browner's in San Francisco. So for those of you that are watching and listening, if you hear him and he sounds just a little bit different, Browner's up in San Francisco. So just work with us here today. All right, Grande, I'm starting off with this. Look, I could start with the Chargers going to Cincinnati and winning that game. Did my phone just go off? Is that what just happened? Or is this my watch? Oh, it's my watch. My watch. How do I shut that off?
Yikes, guy. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. All of a sudden, my watch just said, hey, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Wasn't talking to you, all right? I'm sorry. I wasn't talking to you, watch. Leave me alone. I'm doing something here. So I want to start off with this weekend, and I want to start off with yesterday. Now, look, I could start off with my Cincinnati Bengals and my quarterback, Joe Burrow, losing to Browner's Chargers and his quarterback, Herbal. I could start there. I could start with the Rams, who, again, get another preseason game in the middle of all this. By the way, the Rams are going nowhere, the way I see it right now. You know, they beat up on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they lose to any team that's got anything going that's even remotely close to a quality team. Beat up on the losers, lose to the guys who are pretty solid. I'm not starting with the Rams. I'm not starting with the Chargers. I'm not starting with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not starting with the Green Bay Packers. I'm not starting with the Baltimore Ravens, who lost yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the stories about Ben Roethlisberger and his retirement potentially, which I think is kind of pretty obvious. But anyway, all these storylines around the NFL, there's one storyline that's on my mind this afternoon. The Detroit Lions, not Patrick Mahomes. I know you're going to try and get me to not talk about it.
I'm not. Let's do it. I deserve this.
You do deserve it. And it's not you. It's the Vikings who deserve it.
No, it's me for being a Vikings fan.
It is him.
Oh, it's you for
It's him.
It's just for being a Vikings fan, you deserve this.
I wasn't born in Minneapolis. There's no reason for me to be a Vikings fan. I chose this.
You chose
I
this
chose
life.
this destiny.
Hey, you should play it off like, hey, this Vikings life I didn't choose this Vikings life. This Vikings life chose me. And that's how you should maybe play it off here. But the Detroit Lions were bound to get a win at some point. It's the NFL.
Were they?
I think so.
I can't disagree with that more.
Well, how could you how could you disagree with it? They got to win.
They're terrible.
But they got to win. I'm saying they were bound to get a win at some point. It's 17 games. You know, at some point they're going to actually how close were they time and time again to getting a win? They've lost, I want to say, 4 or 5 games this year on last second field goals. I don't know what the argument is here. My point is it's a throwaway statement. They were bound to get a win one time in 17 games.
No.
Okay, why?
I disagree.
No.
Okay, you guys are
Mike Zimmer. Listen, I give Alex a lot. Put him on a hit list for fun. Mike Zimmer deserves to be fired. The idea that you would let them do a prevent defense, and I wouldn't even call what they did from the 7-yard line a prevent defense. The fact that you would tell your cornerbacks to stand in the end zone when that's all they have to do is get in the end zone. I've never seen a guy, and look at that. We could have made that pass. One of us could have made that catch. That was one of the dumbest things I've seen since the Lions on Thanksgiving morning called back-to-back timeouts. It was dumb. It was poor strategy, and I couldn't believe with my eyes because I had turned on the game. I couldn't believe what I was watching happen from a coaching standpoint. Now, if that guy fell down, he's cut. That's a different story. But he did that because that's what he was told to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's not forget, okay? Let's get started from the beginning. First of all, you should never fall behind to double digits to the Lions, and the
Also
Vikings
true.
did that.
Just
Secondly,
by the way, since you're putting that out there, you should
Mhm.
never fall behind 24-0 to the Chargers. The Bengals did that.
But they came and tied it up.
Well, they got it to 24-22. You know, they battled back. You're down 24-0, and you kind of think it's toast, but they did battle back and get it to 24-22. All right, so go ahead, Alex. You should never fall behind 16-0 to the Lions. Keep
yeah, it was
going.
20-6. Excuse me. They fell
Mhm.
20-6,
Mhm.
and then the Lions really tried to let them win this game. Let's not forget, why did the Vikings even take the lead at the end of the game? Because the Lions went for it on 4th and 1 with like 4 minutes left on their own 30. And what do? Not a sneak, not a run. You know what they do? Some sort of weird option where Jared Goff ends up running back 10 yards and getting strip sacked. So the Lions tried everything they could to not win that game. And that's why I tell you, Scott, were they bound to win a game? No. They just happened to run into the dumbest coach in the NFL. Dumber than theirs, actually.
Yeah.
So
This
I
is the
don't-
same
That's
team that
fancy.
lost. This is the same team that lost, just by the way, the Lions, on a 66-yard field goal that hit the crossbar and bounced in.
That's how dumb the Vikings played yesterday. Is that a team that is destined by the NFL gods to go 0-16-1? They blew it. They blew it. The football gods have cursed the Lions all year. The Bears should have lost the Lions on Thanksgiving, and they didn't because the football gods said, not today. And then Mike Zimmer was just spiting them. He's like, I'm not going to let you do this. I am going to lose to the Vikings or to the Lions. And that's what they did. It was incompetence all the way around. And listen, I get it. The Vikings were without 5 defensive starters.
Doesn't
They had
matter.
no linebackers. I understand. Dalvin Cook did not play. Adam Thielen was out in the first play of the game. I get it. Okay. But if you watch that game, the win was there. And you went prevent the whole way down the field. I don't know how long that final drive was. I'm gonna look it up right now. Because it wasn't 40 yards. They went 14 plays, 75 yards in a minute and 50 seconds.
I love it.
And then you play this defense.
Yeah.
The corner is on the goal line, 5 yards away from the receiver. Instead of standing his ground, which every moron knows to do, he starts backpedaling into the end zone, gives him 4 or 5 yards in the end zone to allow Amon-Ra St. Brown to score the easiest touchdown of his life. Idiocy.
Yeah. Yep. And Jared Goff, he had a timing. He just kind of backpedaled, whipped it, knew where he was going with the ball.
Jared Goff could have made a latte back there. He had so much time.
Well, here, show us. Do we have the play? Let's take a look at the video of the play. We'll listen to the audio for those of you that are watching on. Well, for those of you that are watching on radio. No, for those of you that are listening on radio, you'll hear it.
This is the Detroit Lions radio call, which is Golden Johnson worthy.
This is awesome. All right, go ahead and play it for everybody.
First victory of the year on the line. Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, end zone.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end! Oh, they're rushing the field! They've done it! 3 zeros on the clock. This game is over. It's over. Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown, his first career touchdown. And how big is that? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, I love it. I swear to you, I'm not joking. I have goosebumps. Look, we can all joke at the expense of the Vikings, But when you see Jared Goff run over to the head coach, Dan Campbell, and hug him, you just know. Listen, I know we ridicule the Lions, and it's just an easy thing to do. But, when you're no matter what level of sports you play, it could be Little League. I'm not joking around. And you just cannot buy a win to save your life. And you finally get that win. Even though it's a regular season game, it doesn't mean anything. You're not going anywhere. Just when people work that hard, they put in that amount of time and effort and energy, and nothing's working, and you finally just get that taste of victory. Oh my God, it is a beautiful thing about sports. And so when I see Jared Goff run over to Dan Campbell, I get goosebumps, that they finally got their first win.
Wow, that's funny because you get goosebumps and I gagged.
Well, that's the difference between being a Vikings fan and just a general observer who doesn't really have an emotional connection to the game.
So my fiance had a friend over yesterday, so I got kicked out of the living room. So I came into this office and I sat here. I have the iPad, I have my laptop, and I had Red Zone over here, and I put the Vikings on my laptop. I went full screen, sat here for the fourth quarter. And when I saw Cameron Dantzler, first of all, I saw him line up like dumb. And then he backpedaled. You saw that, right? Like he gave him 5 yards in the end zone.
Mhm.
Like, so when St. Brown caught this touchdown, he didn't have to like force his way like the Oklahoma State running back failed to do. Like he didn't have to fight to get into the end zone. He caught it 4 yards into the end zone.
Mhm.
I didn't scream. I didn't like make a noise. I looked at my computer screen and I was like, we deserve that. We deserve that.
I'll bet you it was a different reaction than Browner and I had. I was like, yes, the Lions won. But not only did they win, they beat one of my guys' teams. The only thing that could have been better than the Lions beating the Vikings or the Lions beating even better than beating the Lions, beating the Bears on Thanksgiving. The only thing that could be better would be the Lions beating the Chargers at home, by the way. That would be the only thing that I could think of that would be more enjoyable than the Lions.
Play each other?
No, but the point is that they had a chance against the Bears on Thanksgiving. Browner escaped. They escaped. They don't play the Chargers. And so my next best chance is that they play the Vikings. And this is the fun of sports, is that's your team, and now we can all just give you a hard time about it.
It doesn't get any better than no. They lost to the right team. Okay. It couldn't have come to a better team. Couldn't have come to a better coach. It happened at the right time. It's hard to win a game. You can clearly see the excitement from those adult men, like little children, to a regular season game. It's hard to win a game, man.
Dude, so we for 20 years we talked about how terrible the AFC East was for Tom Brady and the Patriots, right? Like they basically were insured to be in the playoffs every year. The Packers are the same thing. The Packers are the exact same thing. It was almost a full calendar year since the Lions won their last game. They won their last game December 6, 2020 against his crappy Bears. That was the last game they won. And they didn't win anything until December 5th, 2000. Literally 364 days. And the last 2 wins they have is against our 2 crappy clubs because the NFC North is a joke of a division.
Terrible.
Like, every now and then, obviously, like the Jets made it once or twice. Like, it happens. The Vikings make it once or twice. The Bears make it once or twice.
The Bears won the division
But at the end, as a grand scheme of things, Aaron Rodgers got the easiest path to the playoffs in the NFC than any other quarterback in his generation. Like, there is no competition in the NFC North because you only really play 2 other teams and the Lions.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I mean, I think you're bringing up a good point. Tom Brady had it easy because Buffalo stunk and Miami stunk, and the Jets have always been terrible. And as for the Packers, the Bears have been terrible. The Vikings have like highs and lows, and the Lions are always down. So yes, I think your point is well made. But here, let's go to some reaction though. The Lions get the win.
Is mine not good enough?
No, yours is fine. Yours is okay. But I want your reaction is the Minnesota Viking fan reaction.
Yeah.
We all know the story of this guy, Dan Campbell, the coach. And, his initial press conference, he was ridiculed around the country. And his team has been ridiculed all season long. Well, they finally get their win. Here's Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions. Here's his reaction. Let's take a look.
Hey, I just want to say that was a hell of a game. We played complimentary football all game, and we stayed in there. Hey, but I want to give this game ball to Coach. I love every single one of y'all, bro. Hey, family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family!
Who is the player number 81 that was giving the coach the game ball?
I think that
I don't
was,
know.
wasn't that Michael Brockers?
I'm not sure who that was.
That was a linebacker. That
Yeah.
wasn't. That was a.
Did it not say 81 on his jersey?
I think
I don't
it's
think so. I
51.
think it's at 51.
91.
did it?
91.
Oh,
it
okay,
was
thank you,
Michael
thank you.
Brockers, former Ram.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. See, look, here's the thing. I know, again, we can joke about it all day long, seriously, but the beauty of sports is when something great happens, regardless, whether it's winning the Super Bowl or winning one lousy regular season game, but you're 0-9-1 or 0-10-1, whatever they were.
Yeah.
Listen, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I love to see the reaction. How about Jared Goff's girlfriend? You ready for this?
Oh boy.
Have you seen this, Browner?
No.
Oh, my God. So Jared Goff's
Oh,
girlfriend.
the horny police came out last night, too.
Yeah. Check
Oh,
this
yeah.
out. So Jared Goff's girlfriend is apparently like a swimsuit model for Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
And she was on a shoot somewhere because I'm sure she's like, well, I don't have to stay in the game and watch the game in Detroit, because let's face it, they're going to lose. So I'm going to be out here working, making money. And she's a swimsuit model. Well, she's in the middle of a shoot. She's in a tiny little bathing suit. She's on a beach. And one of the other people who's there at the shoot lets her know that the Lions have actually just won the game. Here, watch this, everybody.
It's over. Quick. Shut up. You guys think this is their first win? Like, this is crazy. Here we go.
So here's the deal. They're showing it. They're showing her on a phone the final play. And she's, like I said, she's out there on the beach. You can hear the waves rolling by, little tiny bikini. And she's like, oh, my God, it's their first one. We get it. That's why we're telling you.
Yeah.
She was
How big of a moment it is.
She was as shocked as anybody. She was completely bad. Like, what? They won? Yeah, she wasn't. Nobody was really expecting a win. Like, really, come on, man. Like, that's what makes it even worse is that the surprise from the players and from their fans and from their family members shows you, Scott, that they weren't bound to get a win. They were
expecting to be winless this year.
They were
I
expecting
disagree.
a
I
loss.
disagree.
100. And listen, I'm not telling you that they're not like competing and they're not trying their best, but there was genuine shock that not only did they win, they had a 14-play 75-yard drive to win a game
In a minute 50.
in a minute 50 with, I believe, one timeout.
Yeah.
And I love that Brocker said this was complimentary football. Like,
yeah, we complimented very terrible.
The compliment came from the
terrible
Vikings.
coaching. Yeah.
Hey, it's a
could
great
not be
story.
Understated. And I don't know how many people actually. I know Browner said he clicked on his NFL ticket to go watch the end of this game.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely curious, like how many people watched the end of this game, or watched the game, because if you only watch that drive, it encapsulates everything that's been wrong with the Vikings. Who I really want to. This is crazy, and now you can add one to everything. So 11 of 12 games decided by 8 points or fewer. They're now 4-7. 2 wins on a final play. They've lost 4 games on the final play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
4. They showed this as the Lions started their drive. So everything got up by 1 game. 4 games this year lost on the final play of the game.
Well, hey, listen, when USC lost to Stanford, they fired their coach in week 2 of the college football season. Here we are at the end of week 13 of the NFL season.
Yep.
Will the Vikings let Zimmer finish out the year, or was this so humiliating to the Viking organization that they decide to part ways with Mike Zimmer? What do you think?
No.
Make a prediction.
No, they play Thursday. I think if they didn't play Thursday, they would fire him. And also the other thing is, like, who are you going to put in charge? His son, who's the defensive coordinator, or Gary Kubiak's son, who's the offensive coordinator? Like, which twerp do you want to put in charge? They're like the freaking Spanos brothers over there, dude. Like,
which twerp do you want to put in charge? I love it. All right, hold on.
The whole thing needs to get not the roster. That's the problem. Sorry, real quick. The roster's good. The roster's actually good.
Yes.
That's the problem. The
Yeah.
roster is good.
Yeah.
So they need to blow up the staff completely.
All right, look, I want to say that coming up next, because we'll go from the big story of the NFL weekend, which is the winless Detroit Lions beating Alex's Minnesota Vikings. We'll get going here. We'll get into more NFL stuff as the afternoon goes on. But I want to talk college football because since we're all taking our shots at you today, Grande, we might as well get to San Diego State and what they were not able to accomplish, and then we'll jump into some college
I have
football.
some San Diego State news, by the way.
Okay, hold on to that news for 1 second. I want to just say to everybody who's listening and watching right now, let's remember this holiday season, for anybody that's a grill master in your family, if they want the big green egg, there's lots of different sizes of the big green egg. There's a really big one, but there's a smaller one. It does the exact same thing. You can find them at West Coast Barbecue Shop, westcoastbbqshop.com, 2330 Proctor Valley Road. This is Brian Bushfield, who's been around the show since 2012. You'll meet him this Saturday on the cruise. It's Brian, it's his mom, it's his wife, it's family run, and it is real mom and pop kind of stuff here. So if you are looking for a brand new grill, an Italian pizza oven, accessories for grilling, if you need rubs, if you need sauces, anything related to barbecuing, this is the best place in all of San Diego to go. WestCoastBBQShop.com, West Coast Barbecue. Stick around, San Diego State news, and let's get to what happened in the college football game this past weekend. This is Kaplan and Crew.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Rich Eisen here, inviting you to catch my show, The Rich Eisen Show, on our flagship radio station, the mightier 1090. We're on every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon Pacific time. You'll like what you hear. If not, that's just, I guess, too bad.
A new generation of radio. The all-new and mightier 1090.
These are challenging times for our community.
The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter are here if you need help. We have hundreds of locations throughout the county where you can get help with food.
We have food.
It's okay to ask for help. Visit one of our drive-through and walk-up locations.
We can also help you sign up for Catfish.
If you need help or if you can help, visit SanDiegoFoodBank.org.
Watch your San Diego State Aztecs take on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. December 8th at 7 p.m., live from the Viejas Arena.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great googly moogly. Oh, yeah. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon. Time now for Kaplan and Crew tonight's Community Connect. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon. And by Prospect Home Finance.
Last month, the Orange County Soccer Club hosted its second Corporate Cup, pitting local businesses against one another in a competitive round-robin soccer tournament, with the finalists playing at Championship Stadium after the Orange County SC home game on Wednesday, October 20th.
Really a great opportunity to get our whole company and our families out here together, spending time for a good cause and really enjoying it.
Co-ed teams from a variety of industries showed up at the Great Park Fields in Irvine to participate in the charity tournament, with the proceeds going to the OCSC Community Foundation to help further its mission to use soccer as a vehicle to promote health and wellness, support and empower youth, foster an inclusive environment, and unify the local community.
We feel great about giving back to our community. Experian is a company that tries to give back in many ways, and just being able to support this cause is awesome. Anything that we can do to kind of support Orange County, we're all about it.
It was a fun day out on the field with 16 teams battling it out for bragging rights to see who moved on to the finals.
They've been taking it pretty seriously so far. A lot of them have been practicing in the weeks leading up. They've got their own custom jerseys, and you can tell they're having a great time just getting out of the office on a Friday on a beautiful day here at the Orange County Gray Park.
The team members were extremely excited and passionate. We got more than expected entries, and we had to tell people to just show up and cheer the team.
Participating companies were also treated to meet and greets and private coaching sessions with OCSC players and coaches.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's Community Connect is fueled by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Hey, Dave Smith here. Make sure you listen to my show on the Mightier 1090, 6 to 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday night. The only local sports talk in all of Southern California on the weekends, right here on the Mightier 1090.
The all-new and Mightier 1090.
Food insecurity is defined as not having sufficient resources to buy food either for yourself or for your family. Folks who are food insecure struggle with not having enough food to eat because maybe they lost their jobs. It is important to not just look at one person as being food insecure, but really looking at them as it could be anyone. The San Diego Food Bank has been around for over 40 years. Our job is to help procure food for San Diego County residents to make sure that no one is going to bed hungry. Accessing food from the San Diego Food Bank is very simple. A lot of our distributions right now are operating as drive-through distributions, so they are safe to attend if you are concerned with getting out of your vehicle and walking into a food pantry. The San Diego Food Bank needs your continued support. Please visit our website at sandiegofoodbank.org, and there you will see all of the different ways that you too can get involved.
There's a difference between just getting there and enjoying the journey. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, we put you in the driver's seat of the best cars around. From our stylish crossover SUVs to our classic sedans and sports cars. At Team Mazda of El Cajon, your good credit and trade-in can turn into the Mazda of your dreams. Start enjoying your drive with a new Mazda today. Visit Team Mazda of El Cajon.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
San Diego State football fell short in the Mountain West Championship on Saturday. The Aztecs lost to Utah State 46-13. SDSU was without 4 starters and a handful of backups due to what the university deemed a medical concern. The loss was quite a blow for SDSU, who was looking for the school's first ever 12-win season. SDSU accepted an invitation to play in the Frisco Bowl in Texas on December 21st against UTSA. It is the 11th time in the last 12 seasons that SDSU has played in a bowl game. SDSU came in at 24th in the final college football playoff rankings, while UTSA came in at number 24 in the final regular season AP Top 25 poll. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance. Brought to you by Prospect Home Finance. Fast, friendly, affordable. Watch your San Diego State Aztecs take on the Cal State Fullerton Titans. December 8th at 7 p.m. live from the Viejas Arena.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and Your View. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Great friends, this is Kaplan and crew. We welcome you back to the 7 Mile Casino Studios. For those of you that are catching us on radio this afternoon on 1090, whether you're in San Diego, Orange County, LA, north into Ventura County, Grande's hometown, the Nards, Santa Barbara, and the Central Coast, wherever you may be, happy to have everybody along. Which, by the way, just reminds me one thing, Grande. I sent you a whole bunch of photographs from a party that I went to on Friday night. Do you have those available?
Not right now.
Okay, can you get them available here shortly? Can they become available? This is a total curveball coming your way.
Yep.
Can you do that for me or no?
Nope.
You cannot do it.
Nope.
Cannot do.
I mean, not right now. No.
Well, I don't mean right now, like right this second. I mean like within the next 15 to 20 minutes.
I will try.
Okay, and the reason is because there's a story to go along with some of these pictures, but it needs to happen on radio, yes. YouTube for sure, but I want to also talk about this on TV. So hold on. We'll see if we can get it done. If not, it's my bad. I mean, I sent him to Grande yesterday, and it'll be my bad. But crazy how Friday night, I have a story to tell you that I think everybody will really, really get an appreciation for, and I think people will love this story. So, all right, hold on. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. For those of you that are listening on radio, fantastic. Heart and soul, you guys know who you are. You are the YouTube viewers, the YouTube listeners, and hope to see many of you this Saturday, Next Level Sailing, Captain Fathom, Captain Troy, the Yacht America, whale watching this Saturday, 3:30 to 5:30. We've got a 2-hour cruise planned for you. Mike Hess Brewing is doing all of the beer, and they introduced us to some great seltzers on Friday. Lori and Don Benson are doing our pregame tailgating party, and we look forward to sharing a Saturday afternoon and a little ugly Christmas sweater thing happening on the Yacht America, which, by the way, everybody's going to get a Great Friends hoodie for just being a part of our family, and that's a great holiday gift for you guys from us, and we'll have more on that as the afternoon goes on. So radio listeners, YouTube viewers, television viewers, podcast listeners, happy to have everybody here on Kaplan and Crew on a Monday afternoon. All right, Grande, back to you, my man.
Me?
Yeah, we're going to focus in on you this afternoon. Your Vikings lost to the Lions. That's a story we just covered. And your Aztecs, I'm putting them on you now. I would say our Aztecs. When they win, they're ours. When they lose, they're yours.
Yeah, even though you said they were going to win. Easy.
I said last week, I said, look, I really thought San Diego State was going to win the Mountain West Conference Championship. And here's the thing. Had they won, think about how the country might perceive San Diego State. Because Utah, not Utah State, not the team that beat San Diego State, but Utah, a team that San Diego State beat this season, beat Oregon not once but twice in this case for the Pac-12 championship. Think about that. You have an Oregon team that in the first week of the college football season went to Ohio State, beat Ohio State in the horseshoe. Okay? That was Oregon's biggest win of the year. People talked about it all season long. Utah beat them twice. San Diego State beat Utah. The team that beat Oregon twice, and Oregon's the team that beat Ohio State. San Diego State beat Utah. And they lose to Utah State, but not just lose. Saturday in the Mountain West Conference Championship, they got crushed. Now, look, I get it. San Diego State had a COVID outbreak. 20 players missing from the team. Nobody's using it as an excuse. Last week, when Brady Hoke was asked about it, he avoided it completely. I know a lot of the media was complaining about it this Saturday when I was watching what was going on Twitter. People were complaining that, they should have been more forthright with where they were roster-wise based on a COVID outbreak on the team. But, Alex, your team, your San Diego State Aztecs, it was ugly on Saturday. I mean, first, the basketball team got pounded by Michigan on national TV on CBS, and then on national TV on Fox, the football team wasn't even competitive. They put up no show. While everybody's talked about Cincinnati and breaking down the barrier, my son said to me this weekend, he goes, Dad, your take that the Mountain West Conference and the All-American Conference are equal or that the Mountain West is better. My son said to me, he goes, you're out of your mind. The All-American Conference has Cincinnati. They've got Houston. And I said, okay, well, who do they have after that? And he started reading off for me. Central Florida, East Carolina, SMU. And he started to read off their records. And I thought to myself, maybe he's right. I mean, maybe the All-American Conference, besides just Cincinnati, top to bottom, is a much better football conference than the Mountain West. San Diego State had their chance on national TV to show the country what they were all about. And what the country knows about San Diego State, because they don't pay attention all year, is they just got slammed, destroyed, pounded on by Utah State. So, Grande, I ask you, what happened to your Aztecs on Saturday?
They got outplayed. They just didn't show up in the moment. And I what I mean by that is, how many drop passes did they have early on in the game? How many dropped interceptions did they have early on in the game? They couldn't run the ball. Jordan Brookshire struggled, which we saw him struggle a lot this year. And they didn't show up in the biggest moment of the season, unfortunately. That's it. They just simply got outplayed. I would say that in every aspect of the game. They gave up a ton of yards passing. They were bad on special teams. They got 2 punts blocked. Offense was, what we've seen from them, unfortunately, a lot, where if the run game struggles, then they struggle. They gave up a lot of yards on the air. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it was just like, what went right would take a lot shorter than to say what went wrong. Because not much went right.
Yeah, and when you talk about having 2 punts blocked in the same game, now you've got an All-American punter that they're doing this past Saturday, I think it was. ESPN's College Game Day did a full expose on Matt Ariza and the season that he's had. And then what happens on Saturday afternoon? You go out and you get 2 punts blocked. Not to mention, by the way, Ariza got a penalty on the opening kickoff of the game for a hit on the return man out of bounds. I mean, just nothing went right and things snowballed. Browner, I know you're up in San Francisco, and I know how much pleasure you took in the Vikings losing to the Lions. Do you have that same pleasure for San Diego State losing to Utah State? I mean, is it just beat up on Alex Day today? I don't feel good about that.
I don't take any pleasure in what I'm about to say. That game shows you how meaningless the conference is. Because I got to tell you this, unless you are a non-Power 5 team that gets into the top 10, no one cares. If they would have won that game in the same way that they lost it, double digits, and made a great showing, that wouldn't have gotten them to top 10. It might not have gotten them to the top 15. The one thing that I took from that game, and I watched it until I couldn't stomach anymore because I kind of knew where it was going when they got down by double digits because they can't score. The only thing matters going forward, once you get into that new stadium, is getting in a different conference. And a lot of people can tell me that's never going to happen because the Pac-12, 10, whatever it is, needs those recruits so they can't add San Diego State. I don't care what the reason is. If I'm the AD at 11-2, that's still a good football season. But it will mean nothing because you lost it on the one game you had viewed coast to coast in a completely ugly, embarrassing way. And now your season basically worthless.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because those kids played hard. It wasn't like the first 11 wins don't count. But now, I mean, technically, do they count for anything? Because now you're going to the Frisco Bowl, which I thought was here in San Francisco. It's in Texas. So I don't know how can you – because they actually had a crowd there. In the first quarter, second quarter when I was watching, there were people there in red cheering for them. I hadn't seen that this year yet, but they showed up when they needed to. And look what they got for it. So I mean, personally, I think that this is the main indication you have to get out of that conference. Whether you find yourself in the Big 12 or whatever the new makeup of that's going to be, or you can find a way to get into the Pac-12, you have to get out of this conference.
You actually bring up an interesting point, and it goes back to what we were talking about just a little bit ago, how my son tells me that the All-American Conference, the one that Cincinnati, Houston, East Carolina, Central Florida, SMU, these kinds of schools play in, my son tells me that's a much better football conference than the Mountain West. Alex, you buy that or do you not buy that?
Listen, whether I buy it or not, I think the perception is that, yes, it's better than the Mountain West.
Well, I mean, Cincinnati's in the playoff.
Right.
San Diego State did not win the conference, and Utah State, nobody has any respect for them. So Cincinnati's their 1 seed from the AAC. Utah State is the 1 seed from the Mountain West.
I would say that the College Football Playoff Committee finally got bullied into putting Cincinnati in there.
Okay, but
because
in
years past,
yeah,
UCF finished undefeated. East Carolina finished undefeated last year. and they never even got close to sniffing it. I would say that they finally, after 6-7 years, they finally got bullied into like, okay, we can't not put them in because they beat Notre Dame.
Well,
who's right behind them?
Yeah, got bullied is one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is sustained success for the conference.
No, because I disagree.
Okay.
Because if Clemson was number 5
Mhm.
and Cincinnati didn't beat Clemson, Clemson would have jumped Cincinnati. The reason why Notre Dame couldn't jump Cincinnati is because Cincinnati beat Notre Dame.
Well-
I think that's the only thing that stopped them from kicking
Okay,
them out.
well, look, we can look at it. We can see it differently. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it as that conference has had undefeated teams that have tried to break down the door and they were never able to do it. Whereas Cincinnati went undefeated and did have one win that everybody could look at and hang their hat on. But again, Cincinnati's their top seed. They're better than everybody in the Mountain West Conference. Houston was their 2 seed. They're probably better than most, if not all, the teams in the Mountain West Conference. And then again, I was looking down at yesterday because I thought that SMU would have been the 3rd team, but I think it's East Carolina, Central Florida, then SMU. My point is this. Aren't we hearing that Cincinnati and Houston are leaving that conference to go join the Big 12, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if I were San Diego State, I would be on the phone with Boise State, and here's what I'd be saying. Look, there was a time where San Diego State and Boise State, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, they were actually going to join the Big East. Do you remember that years ago?
I remember that.
Right?
I remember that.
I'm trying to remember who the running back was for San Diego State at the time, but they had a big picture of this kid in Times Square in New York City, and they were saying, "Welcome to the Big East, San Diego State." So San Diego State, it made no sense geographically, but San Diego State back then was thinking, we got to get out of this conference. We got to join a different conference.
Ronnie Hillman.
Ronnie Hillman, right, Alex, very good. So if I'm San Diego State and I'm Boise State and I'm the only 2 teams that have a little bit of national recognition from the Mountain West, what I'm doing is I'm calling the Big 12 and I'm saying, look, you took Cincinnati and you took Houston. Is anybody else going with those 2 schools to the Big 12? Or is it just those 2 schools? Do you know?
I think there's 4.
Okay, I would think SMU is probably one of them. Oh, no, maybe it is Central Florida, and maybe it is SMU or East Carolina. Either way, look, bottom line
Cincinnati,
is
Houston, and UCF.
Cincinnati, Houston, Central Florida. Those 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Those are the
Okay.
top 3 schools in the conference this year too.
Okay, well, guess what? If I were J.D. Wicker, the athletic director at San Diego State, I would be calling that conference the Big 12, saying, look, add San Diego State, add Boise State, and I don't know, man, is there a 3rd team? Maybe Fresno State.
All right, but let's okay. I understand the talking point, but we can talk about it every single year, right?
Mhm.
The point is that they're not leaving this year, and they're not leaving anytime soon unless something
That sucks.
drastically changes.
That's unfortunate.
But to answer your question, Scott, I think the AAC has had schools way more often than Mountain West teams go 12-1, 12-0, undefeated, and they've never sniffed it before. They never even got close. Last year, Cincinnati was undefeated too, and they weren't in the college football playoff.
Did they have
put
a
in,
win? Did they have a marquee win? Did any
They
of
put in,
because
they
I
put
don't
in
know.
Ohio State, who only played 6 games last year.
Mhm.
Remember that? Remember?
Yeah. Mhm.
So I would tell you that if you go back and look, you got Cincinnati, you got UCF went undefeated twice and finished 12th and 8th. Like they're not even close.
Mhm.
So to answer your question, no. If San Diego State went undefeated, the fact that they lost to Fresno stopped all momentum. If San Diego State was undefeated, they'd be there too, 8, 9, 10, but they didn't.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
I completely no. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm saying I disagree with the premise that if they went undefeated, they would be in the top 10. Because your point is that Cincinnati being undefeated, Central Florida being undefeated, they couldn't necessarily crack the bubble.
If you're undefeated, what would they be? 13-0 right now?
Yes, 13-0
with a win against Utah. You're top 10, but obviously they didn't because they got pounded by Fresno. It stopped all momentum that they had going. It stopped it completely. But when you have a nationally televised win over Utah, you have a nationally televised win over Boise State, and if you won this game against Utah State, yes, you're ranked near top 10. But so to the whole conversation is, they're never going to get a Power 5 respect because they're not Power 5.
Mm-hmm.
If
G5 schools have had guys there and they never do it. They have never been in.
When Cincinnati gets into the Big 12 and they go 11, 12-1, they will be a part of this conversation for the national championship,
agree with
regardless of what remains of the Big 12.
I agree with
It's
you.
the
But
name
my point
recognition.
is that every time we talk about San Diego State, we can't talk about them needing to get out of the conference because they're not.
Yeah, but they're not right now. But I gotta think people are talking about it up at San Diego State. They gotta be thinking about it, obviously.
Plus, let's be real. Let's be real.
Okay.
This team this year
Mm-hmm.
way outperformed what any of us thought they were going to be.
Yep,
What
that's true.
11-2 for this team? Massive success this year. And yeah, it doesn't feel that way after what you did on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a massive surprise team and result that they had all year long. Like,
so what happens when you expect them to be good and they give you 12-1 as opposed to 11-2 and they still end up 21-15? Then what?
I mean, that's the
Because
life
you just
life
talk
of
about sustained success year after year after year.
Yeah, but I live in reality. And the reality is, if you're a G5 school, that is the cards that you are dealt with. And there is a massive Power 5 SEC Big Ten bias that we all have to live with. Cincinnati, like I said, if you don't think that they had no choice but to put Cincinnati in, and I don't know what to tell you. They just had no choice. They would have
had no choice.
They would have done everything they could to not put Cincinnati in there, but the cards fell wrong. Oklahoma State lost, Cincinnati beat Notre Dame, and they had no choice, man.
Yeah. Well, and I just want to add one last thing, which is they are moving to a Power 5 conference. So it's part of the consideration. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud here if I were a voting member of all of this. Anyway, listen, I want to hear what Brady Hoke had to say, and then we'll talk about where San Diego State's going bowling. And then, by the way, what's happening here in San Diego for the bowl season. We'll talk about it in just 1 second. I want to remind everybody, though, about iThrive MD. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to announce a new deal from iThrive MD. I spent a lot of time on Friday with Dr. Samir Damani, Raquel Gay, DJ Gay, DJ's wife. I spent a lot of time with these guys in a marketing meeting on Friday. Dr. Damani has a few things he would still like to do before the end of the year, but you're going to have to make that appointment before Christmas. Okay? Here's the phone number, 858-240-1497. 858-240-1497. When I say he's got a lot of things he wants to do, he definitely wants to get as many great friends in to the iThrive MD clinic as he can. He wants to give you the best price that he can. And so tomorrow I'm going to announce some new things, some new specials that are going on. But we've got big plans for 2022 and, integration of iThrive, great friends, the show. We got a lot of exciting things happening in the next year. So I'll just say this. If you're feeling sluggish or tired, a little bit depressed, maybe you're not getting the job done in the bedroom, you don't have the energy to work out, you don't pop out of bed every morning, iThrive MD can help. You probably have low testosterone. Get your testosterone checked for free at iThrive MD, and then let's see what's going on. Let's talk about your health, your wellness, your longevity. Let's get it done at iThrive MD. iThriveMD.com/Kaplan, 858-240-1497. Alex, play for us what Brady Hoke, the head coach at San Diego State, had to say after this incredibly disappointing loss, this beatdown at the hands of Utah State during the Mountain West Conference Championship. Let's hear what the coach had to say.
We didn't accomplish the goals that we always set. We've got goals of winning our 22nd championship, and we didn't do that today. We're 11-2. There's a lot of football teams like be 11-2. We'd rather be 12-1, but that's where we're at right now. We will get an opportunity playing a bowl game, which is always, to me, exciting thing, and also for our players. It's a reward. So we can also, the school record of wins, we have an opportunity to still play for that.
Well,
it's a defeated man right there.
Yeah, he was beat up after that game. So here's what's going on.
Listen, that's not. Listen, I like Brady Hoke. I really do. That's not good enough, bro. Those answers, those aren't good enough. Okay, you get the most wins in school history. Is this the best team in school history? No. Like what?
How far is it from the best team in school history? Because honestly, when you look back at the history of San Diego State, this team way overachieved, put up big win totals. I mean, they got killed in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. They had 20 players out on COVID. I hate to make an excuse for them because they certainly weren't giving us any information last week. But, listen, going to a bowl game is nice. It is a good reward for the players. But, Alex, put up for everybody to see where they're going. They're going to the Frisco Bowl.
Yeah, baby.
So Browner thought the Frisco Bowl
baby.
was in San Francisco.
I legit did.
No, this is where the Dallas Cowboys have their practice facility, the Frisco Bowl, the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl, where they'll take on Texas San Antonio.
Yeah, baby.
That's what
Get excited.
That's what San Diego State's doing. Now, Holiday Bowl, people who love the Holiday Bowl, there's no Qualcomm Stadium anymore. Petco Park will host the first Holiday Bowl ever in Petco, Tuesday, December 28th at 5 o'clock local time. UCLA, which is Bill Walton's school. I'm sure Bill will be a big part of it because it's coming to San Diego. And North Carolina State. You got to think NC State says to Phillip Rivers, we need you to come be our NC State ambassador. UCLA needs Bill Walton to be their UCLA ambassador. And all of a sudden, that could turn into a fun and interesting thing. Does anybody here want to go to the Holiday Bowl on December 20th?
I want to check out what Petco looks like.
I would love to check out what that building looks like with the football.
So do
Tickets are pricey, by the way.
Oh, really?
They start off at $90 right now.
Wow.
I mean, we should
Also, we only have like 10 seconds left. I will tease this. The official name of the Aztec Stadium has been released.
Okay, hold that thought. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. Stick around. Alex has that news, and we got a lot more we want to get to. This is Kaplan and Crew on a Monday.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Hey, it's Pharrell here, inviting you to catch my shows on the mightier 1090. We're on twice every Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. and 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific. Trust me, all the other sports stations are sleeping with your wife.
The all-new and mightier 1090.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on YourView or stream it online at yourview.com. Sponsored by The Barnes Firm, partnering with Shelter to Soldier and saving lives 2 at a time. Visit thebarnesfirm.com/shelter to soldier and help save more lives. Brought to you by Prospect Home Finance. Fast, friendly, affordable. From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and yourview.com. Your Health is brought to you by Save the Storks. Help us reach the hearts of women with compassion, education, and holistic care. Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
San Diego State football fell short in the Mountain West Championship on Saturday. The Aztecs lost to Utah State 46-13. SDSU was without 4 starters and a handful of backups due to what the university deemed a medical concern. The loss was quite a blow for SDSU, who was looking for the school's first ever 12-win season. SDSU accepted an invitation to play in the Frisco Bowl in Texas on December 21st against UTSA. It is the 11th time in the last 12 seasons that SDSU has played in a bowl game. SDSU came in at 24th in the final college football playoff rankings, while UTSA came in at number 24 in the final regular season AP Top 25 poll. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Arash Markazi here, inviting you to catch my show, The Arash Markazi Show, on the Mightier 1090. We are on every Monday through Friday from noon to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Join me and producer extraordinaire G. Wiley, where we chop up Los Angeles sports and try not to piss too many people off.
The all-new and Mightier 1090.
Welcome to Team Mazda of El Cajon. Thank you for joining us to make the trip to San Diego's first Mazda retail evolution facility. It takes years and years to put all this together and to make Team Mazda a reality. Unbelievable team here.
Thank you to John and Corinne for the opportunity. It's a privilege and an honor to say that this is the store I get to be the general manager of.
I do want to speak to what I have in my hand here. It is a big, heavy plaque representing the grand opening. So I want to present this to John, say thank you again.
We're very proud of the work that you're doing here. I commend you on your future prosperity. At this point, I want to invite you all outside to hear a drum demonstration.
Food insecurity is defined as not having sufficient resources to buy food either for yourself or for your family. Folks who are food insecure struggle with not having enough food to eat because maybe they lost their jobs. It is important to not just look at one person as being food insecure, but really looking at them as it could be anyone. The San Diego Food Bank has been around for over 40 years. Our job is to help procure food for San Diego County residents to make sure that no one is going to bed hungry. Accessing food from the San Diego Food Bank is very simple. A lot of our distributions right now are operating as drive-through distributions, so they are safe to attend if you are concerned with getting out of your vehicle and walking into a food pantry. The San Diego Food Bank needs your continued support. Please visit our website at sandiegofoodbank.org, and there you will see all of the different ways that you too can get involved.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us and sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon and by Prospect Home Finance.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Crews for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on your view, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. and visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 a.m. A new generation of radio, SoCal Sports Talk.